All right, third graders, this is lesson 9-7. There is no math message. This is your only video for the day. And guess what? This is your last video for the year. Woohoo! This is our last math. So let's power through this. I know we can do it. This is going to be awesome. Okay, so we're calculating the length of day. All of you at one point should have had practice finding the length of day. So we're going to relook at how we do that. It says use open number lines, a toolkit, clock, or other representations to help you calculate the elapsed time, so the time that has passed between the two times. Use the sunrise and sunset data on student reference book, page 281. If you would like, open your hardcovers to 281. Otherwise, I'm going to give the numbers for you so you can just copy them down. Okay, number 1 says, find the length of day for Esperanza Base, Antarctica on June 21st, 2016. Show your work. So sunrise time, 9:37 a.m. That means in the morning, after midnight all the way till lunchtime. And sunset is 2:02 p.m., so at nighttime. Remember, p.m. is that noon all the way through the night until it gets to midnight. Okay, so how we do this, and I'm going to keep working with number lines because that's how I like to show my hops. But if you have a clock at home you'd like to use or some other way, you go ahead. But we're going to use this open number line. So how I get this started is what time are we starting with? That's right, 9:37, but we have to remember to put a.m. because that is important because it's in the morning. Now, I need to show my ending time, which is 2:02 p.m. Something that I like to do to check right away, so I know if my answer is going to be reasonable or not, is, oh, and I forgot to put a.m. Here we go. Okay. Is let's say I hop 12 hours. What is 12 hours added on to 9:37 a.m.? Well, remember, this is like 9:37, just the opposite of a.m. So if I hop 12 hours, it's 9:37 p.m. Well, is 2:02 before 9:37 p.m. or after 9:37 p.m.? 2 becomes way before 9 p.m., so we know that it's going to be less than 12 hours, but we're going to find out exactly that time. If you want to try to figure this out on your own first, put me on pause and then come back to check the answer. Otherwise, we're going to keep working. Okay, so let's see. I know 37 is way more minutes than 2, so I'm going to hop to an even hour. That's what's going to help me. So remember, there's 60 minutes in an hour. So what should I add to 37 to get to 60, or so I can cancel all of those minutes out? Well, let's see. If I add 3 minutes, that brings me to 40. And then 20 plus 40 equals 60. So I'm going to hop those minutes. So remember, I needed 3 minutes. And I can even do it like, I can even do it like this where I go 3 minutes. And that brings me to 40. And then I hop 20 more minutes. And I want to label my hops. I can't label that 3 minutes, but that's okay. I'll label right here. So now I am at 10 a.m. or p.m. What do you think? Well, I'm at 10 a.m. because I didn't quite reach noon yet. Okay? But here's the thing. Let's hop to find noon because when we hit the 12-hour mark, it's like we start over at 0 again. So how many hours until I get to noon or 12 p.m.? Well, I'm going to need to hop 2 hours, okay? And I'm going to label this with 2 hours because if I just put 3 and 20 and 2, I wouldn't know if I'm talking minutes or hours. So we're going to label. So I have 2 hours. That brings me to 12. We are no longer in a.m. We are in 12 p.m. because once we hit noon, 12 p.m. or lunchtime, anything after is p.m. Okay, now what hour do I need to make it to? Well, I need to make it to at least 2 o'clock for right now. So how many hours do I have to add to noon or 12 to get to 2? Remember, this is like starting over at 0 because after this it goes 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Well, we need to add another 2 hours. When I add 2 hours, and I'm going to draw an arrow because we can't get there, it is 2 p.m. right? PM because it's after lunchtime. And how many more minutes till I get to 2:02? I just need to add 2 minutes. Amazing. Okay, now I need to add up all of my minutes and hours that I have. Let's go purple. Okay, let's start. Let's see, I have 3 hours plus, oh no, I don't have 3 hours. I have what? Let's start over. I'm going to do my hours over here. So I have 2 hours, 2 hours, add them together. I'm not going to add them yet though, because I have 3 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 minutes. So I have 20 plus 3 plus 2. And I have my minutes on the right side because when we tell our time, the minutes is on the right and the hours is on the left. I might even label this M and I'm going to label this H for hours. Okay. And I'm going to add my minutes first because what happens if I would add up to over 60 minutes here? Then I'd have to add an hour and leave some of my minutes. So let's see if we get over 60 minutes to make another hour. 0 plus 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. Did I make enough minutes to get another hour? No, 25 is less than 60. So I have 25 minutes. And how many hours, I wonder? 2, 4 hours and 25 minutes. On June 21st in 2016, Esperanza Base in Antarctica only had 4 hours and 25 minutes of daylight. What? That is crazy. That is not a lot of daylight at all. Whew. Okay, let's look at number 2. It says find the length of day for another location on the map. Show your work. So yours is blank. You can fill in whatever you would like. Remember, it's on that student reference book, page 281. You can find some times. I chose Cairo, Egypt on June 21st, 2016. That's the date for all of them. So you can either use mine or go find your own. The sunrise was 4:54 a.m. and the sunset was 6:59 p.m. So you are going to try this one on your own, but I'll help you set it up. If you would like to find a different one on your student's reference book page, please go ahead. But I have drawn my line in for my elapsed time, my open line. And remember, sunrise, this is the time it started, 4:54 a.m. or p.m.? A.m. because it happened in the morning. And then my sunset, the time the sun set, was at 6:59. Okay, before you even do your hops, let's see how far 12 hours gets us to find a reasonable answer, right? We said to hop 12 hours would be unreasonable because we don't get anywhere close to 9 p.m. And look at that, 4 hours is less than 12. So, I mean, our answer is pretty reasonable. Okay, if I add 12 hours to 4:54 p.m., remember, it stays the same number. It just becomes the opposite time. So 4:54 p.m. is 6:59 p.m. before 4:54 p.m. or after 5:54 p.m. Well, 4, let's see, and that's a 6. 6 is definitely after 4:54 p.m. So I know my answer is going to be greater than 12 hours. So I know my answer is going to be greater than 12 hours. I couldn't just hop 2 hours to get to 6:54 p.m. and add 5 more minutes. That would only be 2 hours and 5 minutes. That wouldn't make sense because remember, this is p.m. So we have to go all the way around the clock and then some more. So our answer is going to be greater than 2 hours. I would hop however you would like. Maybe you start with some minutes. Maybe you start with some hours. It is up to you. But write your answer on this line below and then continue on to math boxes. This is it, people. Once you finish this, you have made all of your math for the entire year. You are all superstars, and I am so proud of you. Keep up the amazing, amazing work.